Greetings. In last lecture, we had a discussion about what is the project planning, what is construction planning, what are objectives of construction plannings, what are different forms of planning. Now, let us continue with the discussion by posing a question here: who makes the plan? The answer is simple here: everyone who is involved in the project makes the plan. That is, everybody must plan for a project. But the very first initiative has been taken by a person who is said to be a project manager, who is being responsible for entire project planning and scheduling activity. He makes his subordinate aware about the activities, the tasks, the events which has to perform during the project. And lastly, he communicates this to his team leads, team members, and thereby he have a coordination of all activities and become a project master, overall project master planner. Okay. Now, what characteristics the project planner should have? The very first one, it should be very flexible. He should be a person with a deep understanding. He should understand the obligations, the uh, task which has been given to the team lead, whether they are going to perform or there are some restriction to them, or they are going to be have a certain hurdles. He should be able to listen them carefully and provide and accommodate that into its planning part. Secondly, he should be very strong in technical skills. He should be aware about all the procedures which are going to be there in project. He should be aware about each and every event and the requirement of that event. Technically, he should be very strong about the processes which are being followed in the project project execution and many more. Besides this, he should be very creative and innovative. He should be having a ability to create an alternatives for a problem and alternatives for a scheduling activities. He should be aware about the new changes what he can bring in the project so that the task will get completed within the time. I have quoted here picture of Azim Premji. He himself represent a very responsible person who is having awareness about the nearby and his team member. Also, he is aware about the situations about the country. He is always helpful for that people. He takes responsibility that I am the whole who is going to make the things a simpler one, things which are going to be under my regulation. That character he should have possessed, that one the project manager planner should have that character, responsive character. Beside that, he should be communicative. He should speak up what he wants to his team lead and get it completed, and motivate them to do the work. And if problems is there, he should be able to help him. He should go at a first step and help them and get the task completed. Finally, if I want to say the character which is very mostly essential for a project planner, is that he should be analytical. He should have always analysis about his project, whether it is going on a positive side or negative side, whether the things has been being done in the scheduled task or whether it is going off the schedule mark, whether there is an increase in the cost or losses of resources and many more. He should be very analytical every stage. He should be having a study of it, and then he should provide any rectifying measure for the project to execute in a smooth way. Now, let's begin with the part of project team, how the project team works here. In project team, there are two components, project manager and his team, project team. What does they do? The project manager and the project team together sit and decide what the things has to be done for the completion of the project. For that, project manager studies out the resources which is present with him. The resources may be internal resources or external resources. What are internal resources? Internal resources are like executive management, the marketing, and engineering, production, quality control, human resource, purchasing. These all are the sectors which are being defined as internal resources which will help the project to be run, and they will have the changes, they will make the changes in the project. Like executive management will regulate about how many members have been involved, what type of the fundings they are going to have, what type of the product they are going to have. Then marketing, they are going to sell out the product. If the product is related to sales, then the sales will the advertisement, the sale and the things will be regulated by marketing department. Engineering department, it will help in execution of the work as well as the production of the product. And thereby there is one more streamline which is working in parallel to this, that is a quality control. They will make the assurance about the quality of the product and also the assurance about the quantity of the product. Human resources, they will deal about the employment. The employability will be related to the skilled and unskilled labors here, their wages and their administration. Purchasing here, the purchasing is regard to the raw material which is required at the site, the procurement of the raw material, all this will be held as internal resources, and based on that the project manager will provide is planning or scheduling of the project. The external resources here, external resources are nothing but the supplier, contractors, subcontractors which are associated with the work, means in short we can say the stakeholders which are nearby him. So here the supplier may provide some products to the project team, or it will have the raw material or raw product, make available raw product for that or subcontractor, and the supplier may provide them uh, uh, assistance in reference to the quality maintenance of the project. After doing all this study, what the project manager do, he transfer this information to his project team, and this project team and the project manager simultaneously work, and they what they do, project manager works on the revision, update and revision of the plan. If there are changes in some resources, he will immediately update in his plan and revise it, and this revision will be included in the project plan, and finally it will be stored as a information within a management information system, which can be revert or used at any time by the person who are dealing with such an activities. In a parallel wing, the project team will update and revise the schedule according to the resources available or the information given by the project manager. This will be updated in project schedule, and the project schedule will be being the information will be stored in a management information system. Thereby this will be made access to everyone who is involved in the project, and there will be bilateral relation between the project team and the information, and this will go on in cycling process, and this cycle we call it as a total project plan, project teamwork, or we are going to say execution of a particular project. Now let us talk about the steps involved in construction planning. The very first step is the create the project. What is the meaning of this step? Create a project. Project here it says that preparing a documentation of a project, which is called as a project initiation documents, that spells out the people, resources and budget for the project. Means we are going to prepare here the detailed estimate or the detailed requirement of that particular task to be done, which involves people in it, number of workers needed, as well as subcontractors such as plumbers and electrician. It involves resources needed for it, necessary material for this project, and related to procurement and the other things which are necessary to get the resource available at the site. Then last, the important one, but budget, the total cost of the project including labor, material, equipment, fees and the permits which are required for the execution of work. This all documentation will be collected, and that will be said as a very first step. Before execution of a project, we are going to create a documentation, a strong documentation which will give the brief idea about what is going to happen in future. Okay, the next step is step number 2, which is said to be draft an initial plan. Here this step says about that we are going to provide a process where we will define the set goals, specific goals of the project. He said that use the smart and clean process to set concrete specific goals for your project. Concrete in the sense here we can say it is a very strong one, or which we can say very uh, exhaustive, sorry, not exhaustive, we can say it's a very much important or highlighting the things. Okay, so here smart here implies about specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and timely. The smart here, it has a different the words has different meaning here. If we gather all this one, what we can say, we are going to define a goals in a very specific manner or very concrete manner. Okay, so yes stands for a specific, set a specific goals for your project, such as deadlines for key milestones. The project may be a project having multiple stages, like in case of multi-story building, I am having a construction, I am going to have a project having a construction of 50 story building. In a year I can't do it, I have to work in a phase wise system. So what I will do, I will fix up the key milestone. After 2 years, I am going to complete 5 stories. After 10 years, I am going to complete 20 stories. Likewise, I will put the keystone, and I am now going to specify what time period I will require for it, what type of goals I will achieve at the end of that particular milestone. That we say it should be very specific. Next one is the measurable. Measurable in the sense, agree on how you will measure success of the for goals. Okay, so I am going to measure the things for related to what I have defined in my goals. For example, if I am going to say concrete, M20 concrete I am going to place in at a site. How can I measure the goal here? So here I will have a testing of this. It may be destructive or non-destructive after a specific age, and I will say after testing I will confirm that the M20 is going to give me a strength not less than 20 MPa. Means this is we said what type of measurement I will do for measuring the success of that particular goal. Achievable, whether achievable here, the sense is that you need to have a plan in place for how you are going to achieve this goal. Means here I am going to have a event management chart here, like we have CPM and PERT, critical path method, and project evaluation and review techniques. Every event, after every completion of every event, I will find out what is the optimum time period required for the next event to get completed, or how should I will schedule the activities as such that the project work is going to complete within a specific time. That is said to be achievable. Then realistic here implies your goals need to be within your abilities as a construction manager. For example, if I say electrification work required for the project is of 6 months, but I have made that task as a 3 month, it's not possible for me to get in within 3 months. If I want to try it within 3 months, what measure I am going to have? Okay, and that we can say whether I am going to the capability is there or not. Timely, so lay out a specific time frame in which you can expect realistically that you can achieve these goals. Like I said here, 6 months is the minimum requirement, but I am going to say I am going to complete it within three months. It has become very hard task. Then what I have to do? Instead of going for 6 months, I can say I will complete this in 5 months or 5.5 months. I can have some realistic approach towards it. That's so that the things will be of good quality and assured quality. That is the meaning of a smart. Here, smart process to set the concrete specific goals for your project. Let us have glance over the clearer. So here clear means here collaborative, limited, emotional, appreciable, and refinable. Okay, what does the collaborative stands for? Get everyone on the board. What is the meaning of this? Only you being activate is not possible. The project is not going to be run smoothly. So you should make everyone within your team to be on board. Means on the head here. You should give them a leadership responsibilities. They should picture themselves. They should their team lead should come forward with their own capabilities or their own qualities and do the work. Means here you are not going to have a single man oriented task. You are going to have a task which is team oriented task. Now limited, what is the meaning of this limited? Limit, this goes both in terms of scope and time frame to not get overlapped. And sometimes what will happen, we are going to overburden the peoples, overburden the team lead, and due to this overburden, the things which were going smoothly may get turn up. We don't want such things to appear. That's why I will think over that whether these goals which I have set, it is being in a scope of that particular person who is working on it or not. Next one is the emotional. Emotional here ensures that your goal will get your employee fired up and on board. Sometimes what will happen in the task oriented, some mistakes may be there, or some accidental errors may be there. If these accidental errors are there, you should be capable of accepting it instead of going to have a shout on your team leads or getting or firing up from their job. This will lead towards the extra time consumption. Now next one is appreciable. So break these big goals into small goals and make that you assure that your team leads are not going to be overly, and appreciate them after every achievement of the goal, so that they can be boosted for the next activity. Refinable, count on how having to be flexible, because you can never predict what will happen on a job. So this is said to be very what we say crucial step when the project is going to execution. Sometime due to certain event that it may delay, or due to delay in material procurement, there will be chances that event may have consumption of more time period, thereby you should be very flexible. You should have alternate plan. If plan